This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening. I'm Sabrina Brown. It's great to have you with us. The government of the Bahamas and the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, along with the United Nations Office of Disarmament Affairs and the Stimson Center out of Washington, hosting a two-day symposium at the Grand Lucayan Resort here on Grand Bahama. The conference is focusing on issues impacting national security. The country's Minister of State for National Security addressed the opening session this morning. Joan Davis-Roll reports.
In this post-9/11 era, countries throughout the world, and in particular the Caribbean, are facing a wide range of security and transshipment challenges. It is these and other related issues that will be discussed over the next 2 days, as regional officials from the public and private sectors convene for high-level talks on these topical issues. On hand for the official opening was the Minister of State in the Ministry of National Security, Senator the Honorable Keith Bell. Senator Bell challenged delegates to critically examine the current security environment at the various ports and within the maritime industry and devise innovative ways to positively impact national and regional long-term development.
We acknowledge that we cannot realize the security of our maritime and port facilities alone. All of us must work together in achieving this goal and security. Our commonality of interest, our history, and our experience compels us to cooperate to this effort. I can assure you, delegates, of the continued cooperation of the Bahamian government in achieving this objective. We in the Bahamas stand ready to play our part in these joint initiatives and efforts.
Minister Bell in his address also noted that there lies a growing global concern regarding weapons of mass destruction. He said Grand Bahama is of particular concern.
This symposium, then, is on target with the region's thinking and approach to security. The Freeport Container Port that opened, for instance, in 1997, and which you will visit, as I am made to understand, during this afternoon, serves as a hub for worldwide transshipment of containerized cargo. It serves as a major container transshipment hub for the eastern seaboard of the United States and the principal east-west line haul routes through the region. Transshipment is therefore a significant consideration for the Bahamas, as chemical and hazardous substances compose a substantial proportion of ship cargo that pass through the Grand Bahama Harbor because of the container port. It is acknowledged that the Bahamas is not a producer of chemical weapons. Neither are there any known stockpiles of chemical weapons in the Bahamas. Yet, it is equally known that there are many chemical substances being stored and used within the country.
Minister Bell affirmed this country's commitment, nationally and internationally, to tackling the scourge of guns, drugs, and other illegal activity.
During his address at the 68th General Assembly of the United Nations this past week, the Prime Minister of this great Commonwealth, the Right Honorable Perry G. Christie, passionately pointed out the special concern that exists in the Bahamas and throughout the region for the continuing influx of guns and the increase in gun-related criminality. He implored those countries that produce the guns that end up taking innocent lives and causing terror in our communities to become more proactive in controlling the export of guns through the institution of measures of more robust surveillance and reconnaissance measures.
Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News.
Tonight, BTC says all telecommunications services have been restored to the islands of the northern Bahamas. According to a statement issued by the company late this afternoon, a specialized cable repair ship worked with BTC crews around the clock to man the badly damaged Bahamas Domestic Submarine Network international cable that was severed by a visiting freighter on September 16th. Yesterday, telecommunications services, including landline, internet, and cellular services, were impacted during the repair process. A vessel is expected to arrive on Grand Bahama on Friday to assist with refloating the fuel tanker Formosa Falcon that has been stuck in waters off 8 Mile Rock for almost a week. The tanker ran aground last Thursday after encountering low tide. After 3 unsuccessful attempts to refloat the tanker, a decision was made by the vessel's captain to lighter the ship of some of its cargo to help in refloating the vessel. 6,000 to 8,000 metric tons of the cargo will have to be transferred. According to a statement issued by the Ministry of Transport, representatives of the Formosa Falcon have located a vessel called the Alga that will be used to lighter the cargo from the grounded vessel. The National Oil Advisory Committee met yesterday to discuss the issues facing the grounded vessel, including contingencies for the lightering and refloating operations. Grand Bahamas Oil Spill Committee will also meet soon to coordinate efforts and ensure that adequate safety precautions are implemented during these operations. Meanwhile, the presence of the mega tanker in waters off 8 Mile Rock is not sitting well with the residents. They are calling for a speedy resolution to what they describe as a potentially dangerous situation. Joan Davis-Roll has the story.
It has been 1 week since the tanker, the MT Formosa Falcon, ran aground in waters off Lovers Beach in Hebburn Town, 8 Mile Rock. Since then, there have been 3 failed attempts by officials to refloat the vessel that contains approximately 6,000 to 8,000 tons of fuel. As officials strategize to devise another course of action to release the distressed vessel, residents of that community are expressing concern. A major issue, they say, is protecting the environment and safeguarding waters against possible contamination.
Our major concern is our coral reefs out here. The ships are always running aground, but this one is longer than usual. And the thing is that once a coral reef has been destroyed, it takes hundreds of thousands of years to grow back. Sometimes it never grows back. And we fishing out here. My kids fishing out here, and we enjoy it a lot. But we've seen a constant decline in fishing due to the destruction of the coral reefs. And we would like something to be done about it.
Incidents of mega tankers becoming stranded in waters off this coastal community, she says, are becoming too frequent, and she's calling for immediate action.
We're seeing tugs constantly out here manning them, but it's obvious the ship is unable to move. And we're also seeing that they've put a barrier around the ship as to prevent oil spillage. But we know that even that cannot stop it, because we have beaches here. We have the shoreline. If the oil comes from the ship, if the hull is damaged, it will be devastating to this area.
The area is popular for attracting tourists, and now the tourism sector is also being affected.
I've lived here now for over 40 years, and growing up here, once or twice we would see a ship docked off our seashore. Now when the tourists come by, they're counting ships, which is not pleasant for us. You know, one time ago it was the scenery, it's so beautiful. Now counting ships, it's not something we care to see all the time.
This local businesswoman, along with fisherman Jermaine Hyler, say the threat of a potential disaster is real, and it is an issue that they are calling on officials to take more seriously.
In the future, we would totally like to see the vessels being allowed to dock further away from shore, not so close as to be even pushed in by weather. You know, in the Cayman Islands, they're not even allowed to come in. You have to catch a smaller vessel to come ashore because they're not going to take the chance of you damaging their reef. And I'd like to see the people here take the same stand and worry about our future and our kids' future and enjoying what is here for us.
Well, my biggest concern is a hole or something, getting in the ship and, leaking oil or whatever. And we don't want that to happen to mess up the waters nearby. This is how I make my living, and, anything that threatens this the fishing industry now will be a big concern to all the fishermen, so, and like I say, if they listen, and whoever parties involved, go to the States, get 2 of those big super tugs and get rid of this problem before it become our problem.
Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition continues right after this.